Hi guys, in this podcast, I want to talk about the oil prices, the direction of the oil prices, how you can profit from making money on this direction of where oil prices are going. I want to talk the impact of tariffs and sanctions and how to read what is happening right now in the energy market between the lines. So we know that the agenda, the Trump policy in relation to the energy sector is drill, baby, drill. In the last podcast, or a couple of podcasts, I brought up the idea that without incentives, United States is not going to drill. As a matter of fact, while the big headlines were hitting about the drill, baby, drill policies, the number of rigs in the U.S. coast has actually gone down, not up, as a result of these loud headlines that were hitting the news media everywhere. So in order for the energy companies in the United States to begin placing an insane amount of capital investments into drilling more oil, one thing and one thing only can accomplish that, and that is higher oil prices. Now, never mind that what you hear when you look at the headlines is the idea that, hey, everybody understands, right, well, if we drill more oil, clearly oil prices are going to come down. So as a citizen of the United States, you know, you're looking at this, well, yeah, Trump, let's fucking drill. Yeah, let's do this because oil prices are going to go down. And then, you know, you're going into this shock. What most of the people in America is going to be going into fucking absolute shock from where oil and gasoline prices are about to go up. Because if Trump is serious about drill, baby, drill, there is one thing that absolutely has to happen, and that is oil prices have to go up. So, which is highly contradictory to those of people that are just paying attention to the headlines, but that is exactly what Trump is trying to accomplish. Because look, and some of the policies he's got, they're highly contradictory, and he may realize it, he may not realize it, but simply to stop the war in Ukraine, what do? He actually publicly talks about it in one of the recent meetings. He basically says, look, for the war to stop in Ukraine, okay, all we got to do is chop up the oil prices. And then the next thing he does is what? Well, let's increase the tariffs on Canada, 10% on oil. Well, how's that going to translate in lower oil prices? How's sanctioning, more sanctions on Russia going to translate into lower oil prices? That shit don't work. That only drives the oil prices higher. But that is exactly what needs to happen in order for more drilling to take place in the United States. So the short-term impact of oil prices is going to be way the fuck higher. Oil prices are absolutely going to be going higher, which is, again, a component of the hyperinflation that we're all about to see, not just all over the world, but particularly in the United States. Hyperinflation. Higher interest rates, not lower interest rates, okay? So for the price of oil, I mean, this is probably, until there is, until the mission of accomplished of oil prices going up, and I'm not saying like going up for 1, 2, 3 days for a good bit of time, because that's essentially what the United States companies need to happen in order to start drilling more. Not just a one-day fluctuation, a one-month fluctuation, as we've seen with Ukrainian war. Initially, oil goes to 130, and then within days it's at 100. We're not talking about that kind of thing. We're talking about higher oil prices for longer kind of thing. So, which is exactly, I don't know if you remember what was taking place in 2007, 2008, that was one of the moments where oil prices have gone month after month after month, from like $60, $70 all the way to like almost $150. So, and I think that's what you're about to see. You're about to see oil prices absolutely explode because, if he was serious about lowering prices, again, it's really easy to do. what you do, number one, is you do what? You cut out fucking sanctions from Venezuela, okay? They got the biggest oil reserves, okay? Make some deals with the Venezuelan government, which now, instead of that, what do you have? You have a fucking $25 million bounty on Maduro. What? That's not, how does that translate into lower oil? It doesn't, okay? You want lower oil? Make deals with Maduro government and get this cheaper oil going, okay? Remove sanctions from Venezuela, remove sanctions from Iran, remove sanctions from Russia. Oil is going to fucking drop to $40, $50 overnight. But then if that was to take place, would United States energy companies, would they be like, oh yeah, let us fucking go drill? No, that's got 0% chance of happening if he was to do that. So the strategy is going to be to escalate the war. So he may be saying, yeah, I want to end the war today. Yeah, I want to talk to Putin. I want to do this. Yeah, but that's not your actions, okay, are not leading up to that. And by the way, the latest sanctions that are placed on Russia when it comes to oil distribution has to do a lot with India. So, I mean, let me just walk you through this. 10% tariff on oil in Canada. Now, does that mean that you want to buy more of Canadian oil? No. United States is going to buy less of Canadian oil. Why the hell would you pay 10% more? Okay? You would go to cheaper countries. The countries that have been able to get away with buying Russian oil dirt cheap. Countries like India, countries like China, and then they repackage this oil and then they sell it to, pretty much the whole world, including the United States. So that's how you get the cheapest oil prices. And so less of Canadian oil is going to be consumed as a result of the tariff. Immediate price action in oil is the result, and the gas pump. You're going to see prices on gas going up, prices on oil going up. So higher oil prices, how's that going to help you stop a war in Ukraine? It fucking doesn't. Actually, it helps Russia make a lot of money. So Putin is there sitting right now. Trump, thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. Let's drive the fuck out of these oil prices to 150, okay? And, man, this war with oil prices going higher, it's going to last. It's going to last a lot longer. It's going to get ugly. It's going to get really fucking bad. But the moment when you can actually short oil, when peace stocks are going to be official, not like some fake news coming out and you see like this headline, you could see an initial reaction lower in oil and gold when you see signs that peace talks are being made. But like until there is a real deal on the table, I think the probability of Trump ending war in Ukraine is like 0 in the next 100 days. In the next 100 days, there's 0 probability that that war ends because his actions right now are speaking to the opposite of that. He's raising oil prices. Like he could have literally left that 10% tariff on Canadian oil out, but he did it with a promise to do more of that. So actions speak louder than words in this particular case, although the end goal and the end result may be to increase production of oil in the United States. But before you get to that point, we're talking about time. We're talking about a lot of time. So by the time United States is probably ready to produce more and everything is in place to produce more, okay, United States is in a deep recession, which means the demand for oil is going to drop. And it creates a whole nother set of issues. And so we're looking at a beautiful play here on oil. So short term, meaning like next few months, okay, oil could shoot the fuck to the moon. And then after that, you got a great possibility when if oil gets to insane levels, like again, 120, 130, 150, from there, I mean, you could take probably one of the greatest short selling opportunities on oil. So if Trump's going to keep going sanctioning the hell out of the world on oil, and he's going to be tariffing the fuck out of the world on oil. I mean, there's only one short-term outcome of that is oil prices go higher. Again, until a real peace deal is made, until sanctions are lifted, when those two things take place, oil is going to be the greatest trade on the short side, okay? So how do you capitalize on this, guys? You trade options on oil futures. Yeah, I'm not talking about going and buying the hell out of energy companies and trading options on Chevron or Exxon or, none of that stuff. That stuff will not make you nowhere nearly as much money as trading options on oil. So number one, you got to have an account set up to trade options on oil. Okay? If you don't have that done, you need to get that done ASAP because you're missing some of the easiest trades. And you're going to be looking at your account and wondering, well, why is that growing? Well, because you're missing the easiest fucking opportunities that can go 10x on day-to-day basis. So most of you don't know, but like a $4 move in oil can make you 50x if that move happens on a single day, depending on where options are priced. And sometimes they're priced in the opposite direction from where the real move is going to be taking place. And that's why you come to 13 Market Moves, because we help you identify those moments in time. So don't miss the next few podcasts, guys. I'm going to be breaking down some killer trades. But if you want to partake in this oil trade, okay, you get in touch with us today, 13marketmoves.com, 13mmtv.com. Click the big orange button. The easiest way to do this, guys, is to sign up to trade with a coach. But it definitely would help if you had some understanding of what 13 Market Moves is, the trading strategies behind it, the sequence of the moves. And for that, you take the charts divergence course, you take the 13 Market Moves course, guys. So you have a simplified way of looking at the markets, and that is by identifying the patterns that are already there that the rest of the world simply is not yet able to see clearly. So with that said, that's how you identify options that are mispriced and options that can literally go 10, 20, 30x within a very short time frame. So with that said, oil, high probability of going higher based off the actions that are taking place now. So don't be shocked if initially oil spikes to the moon and later creates one of the greatest shorting opportunities of all time. 13marketmoves.com, 13mmtv.com. I'll catch you guys in the next podcast. Let's roll.